Welcome to Stand and Empower, and in this segment, I have my special guest, Gitty Stafford with Health Markets. Hi, Gitty. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you again for being here today. I do appreciate your time. And well, let's start off with, tell me a little bit about yourself. What are you passionate about?
My name is Gitty. I moved to Arizona a couple years ago. Loving it down here from Washington. So we love the outside here. I am passionate about helping people. I love helping people and I love meeting people.
Yeah.
So anywhere where I get to go and meet people, I think that's fun.
Okay, good. Well, when did you decide to go into this field of the health markets?
When my husband shut down his construction business, we needed to get health care because we were self-employed, so we always had health care through private insurance. And I went on that healthcare.gov, and that was a horrible thing. My phone rang off the hook nonstop for a week and a half.
Wow.
People trying to get me to sign up with them for health insurance. So when we moved here and I needed to get a new plan, I was like, I am not going to Google health, how to get health insurance. I'm going to find somebody. And I went to Google, found this gal, went to her office. She helped us pick a plan, and we started talking to her about her job. And she's like, oh, you would love it. Great flexibility. Being my daughter is still in Washington, and my grandkids, I wanted a job that I could work in 2 places.
Oh, nice.
And so she said that as long as you have internet, you can work. And so that was a perfect fit. And I knew about health insurance just because we've always been privately insured. And so I've really enjoyed it. I love the company that I work with.
Yeah.
And they're very helpful during open enrollment when you've got a lot of questions coming in. They've got a live chat going so we can ask questions because I just started this year.
That's nice.
So it's a very supportive company, very supportive team, and I really enjoy what I do. I enjoy helping people find the best deal for them.
I like that. And so from what you're sharing, it's not that pushy feeling from your own experiences where it's like, I just had these calls nonstop. So it can seem like that, the sales tactic where it can be very pushy in that sense.
Right.
So, yeah.
And I have that opportunity to get phone numbers and call people, but I choose not to do that because I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
I'm not a pushy, so I'm here to help you and I'm not here to go get you.
Yes, I like that. I'm here to help you, not going to get you. Good. Well, what are some of the challenges that you faced and how have you overcome them?
Well, I would say the biggest challenge would be finding people to help. Because I'm not calling people, I'm relying on basically people I know to refer.
Yeah. So more word of mouth.
Word of mouth is primarily, so it's been very slow growing. But like I said, I'm not comfortable being that person to call somebody who isn't even maybe looking for health insurance.
Yeah.
I definitely work by referral, and I have accepted lead calls, but they're not always the best, and they're very expensive.
Yeah. Okay, good. So it's more just taking those steps of, referrals, word of mouth is the best way.
Joining
and then that way,
groups.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, joining networking groups, especially because I'm new to the area. I don't really know many people here. So joining networking group was really beneficial for me. Yeah,
and that's a good tip for everyone out there who's, looking into expanding their career, just even growing in general. Finding what networking groups are available in the area and, looking into, okay, when do they meet? What's the commitment, right? Is that something that would help me grow? Because at the end of the day, it's investing in yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Now, who has been your biggest support?
My husband.
Yeah.
He's always my biggest supporter.
Aw, that's good.
Yes.
So he's always there to cheer you on. So he's your biggest cheerleader.
He's my biggest cheerleader. He's my he's my supporter in anything I do. He's my supporter.
Good. Yeah. Well, what would you say to somebody who is maybe, wanting to start their own business or wants to change their career, or just simply they, are unsure of like, what are my next steps in my life? Just even the transition, right? Where maybe you've gotten to the point where, okay, I've had this career for 10 years, and now I'm looking into starting something completely new. Like that can be nerve-wracking. So what would you recommend to them?
So So I've been an entrepreneur, I would say, my whole life. So I was a teacher and then started a daycare. And that was probably my first, like, this is scary. I went to school to be a teacher. I'm leaving a guaranteed income, with benefits and everything, but I wanted to be a stay-home mom.
Yeah.
But we needed to make money. So I remember talking to my mom saying, should I do this? Because that was my scary moment. Like, do I leave this real job for starting something new? And she says, I can't tell you what to do, but you can always try it. And if you don't like it, you can go back to what you were doing. And I was like, okay. So I opened up a daycare. It was small, just teachers' kids, and it was boring because I like to be busy, and I taught kindergarten, so I was used to a lot of excitement.
All the crafts.
Yes, and so the next year I opened up a preschool. So I did preschool and daycare, and I had someone come in to do the daycare while I was teaching, and then I would have different classes throughout the week. And then I loved that, did that for a few years, but you're tied to it, you're married to it, you can't have sick days, you can't take time off, I was the only teacher. So
it's not like, I can't show up to work today, sorry.
Right. And then we got, the construction business got really busy, and same with my husband. He left a real job for starting up a construction business, and that was scary, but it worked really well for him. So I'm a huge advocate of try it. And if you fail, you can always go back to what you were doing before. But it's worth the shot.
That's good. Rather than holding back in fear, because, by the way, guys, fear is natural when you're going through this process, but it's taking that leap that makes a big difference.
So with the health markets, I didn't have that fear. I wasn't, I think it was just like, I'll try it, because the coffee, we had a coffee stand too in Washington. So I was working in the kitchen, washing dishes, and my husband was on like Craigslist. And he says, you want to buy a coffee stand? And I was like, sure. I knew nothing about it.
You're like, we've done this. We know how to start a new thing.
So the health insurance, that was a really easy start for me. It's a great job. You get to help people. There's a lot of flexibility, which I love. There is a lot of learning, a lot of testing, a lot of retesting, a lot of certification. So you do a lot of work without getting paid. But I like this year, my Medicare testing will be easier than it was last year. Because I have a better knowledge. And but it's a rewarding career, but there is a lot of stuff to learn, and you're always learning, which I like.
And that's a good thing, more for the other end of it. For example, the customer, right? Knowing that, okay, if I'm dealing with somebody who is constantly learning, they're up to date. At least for me, that gives me peace of mind. So,
And the plans change every year. And so you got to know, what's the right plan for the right person, and you got to know their whole story too. Knowing if someone owns a house and has a big line of credit, they probably don't need to have supplemental plans, because if something happens, they've got access to money to pay that high deductible. But if they're, don't have a line of credit all ready to go, and they have a $12,000 deductible and something happens, where are they going to come up with that money? So then they need those protective programs.
That's true.
So,
good. Well, thank you again, Gitty, for being in today's segment for Stand and Empower. And I do have one final question for you.
Okay.
How do you stand and empower?
I would say I stand and empower by encouraging people. I guess I would say I'm naturally optimistic. I'm really good at seeing the good in the world, and so when people are discouraged, I can often help them to be encouraged. I love being positive and just being a light to others around me, and showing people that I care and that I help. I guess that's how.
I like that. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Well, if you guys have any other questions in regards to what Gitty does, her information will be posted on the link, so you can feel free to reach out to her through there. We'll see you next time on Stand and Empower.